Hi everyone. I wanted to make a serious video today. This is Daisy, my lovely doggy. She's a very good girl. She comes from Hungary, and we have another dog from Hungary called Jasper, and he's a very good boy. And we never would have got them without international dog rescue charities and transport, because, as everyone knows, there are a lot of dogs around the world who are mistreated and need a loving home. And we were very fortunate in finding Daisy and Jasper through a wonderful charity called Hundogs. And they were both brought over separately a year apart in a van, coming from Hungary, picking up other dogs on the way from other countries, and then going through the Channel Tunnel in the van and coming into the UK. The dogs were dropped off in various locations at their new parents' homes around the UK. And that wouldn't have been possible without transport companies being able to transport these beautiful dogs. And they had cats in the van as well, to be rescued in the UK. Obviously, other countries also rescue dogs, but I only know of the UK, and it is relevant that I'm talking about the UK here, because last night, on Thursday the 19th of November, we found out that the French side of the Channel Tunnel, which is the only roadway between mainland Europe and the UK, have decided to suddenly and without warning limit the number of animals that can be transported, either pets or animals going to people's homes or going to be sold, i.e. like pedigree dogs. So those being rescued, those being sold, and other animals, the number is limited to 5. And this is not financially viable for transport companies, which means that all the charities and rescue centres working very hard to get these beautiful animals to their new loving homes in the UK cannot get transporters to transport them to the UK because it's not financially viable anymore, which means that the dogs and other animals who were ready to be transported over the next month, and all of those who should have been transported in future from mainland Europe and maybe even further afield, travelling either by road from other places or maybe landing on a plane in mainland Europe and then being transported by road through the Channel Tunnel, cannot transport their dogs anymore. Daisy is so lucky to be here because we're able to give her a loving home and everything she needs and more. And before we got her in July, she was very fortunate to be fostered by a lovely lady called Anna in Budapest. But before that, the reason why she was rescued was because she was chained up for years, we don't know how long, in a horrible yard in near Budapest in Hungary. She was on a tether, maybe a couple of meters long. The photograph that we've seen of her in that yard, she had one pot, like an old cooking pot, and I don't know if it had food or water in it, but it certainly didn't have both. And she had no freedom, no toys, no friends, no loved ones, no one to give her cuddles, no one to take her for walks. She had shelter in the shed that was behind her was full of stuff, and she was able to hide under an old mattress which was wedged up against something. She probably had puppies because she was a sitting duck. Any male dog could come up and do whatever they wanted to with her because she wasn't neutered. And she's got a saggy belly, which I think means that she may have had puppies. She was about 4 years old when we got her. I think she was brought up in a nice home to start with. She suddenly remembered one day how to do paw, how to do shake. And we think that may have been because she was brought up in a nice home and somehow she's gone to live in this awful place where she was chained up. She was very, very scared, very nervous, even after she had been fostered by a lovely person who gave her the time and attention and care and love that every dog needs. So she came to us and she was very skittish, very scared. A noise, a movement could send her running because she was so scared. She still has moments. And without being rescued, she'd still be there now, in that awful place with horrible people. I don't think she was abused in the physical sense because she doesn't show any signs of it, but I think she was threatened because she's so scared at certain movements, like quick arm movements. She's come so far in the last year and a bit that I'm so proud of her, but she does get scared again, and I dread to think what situation she'd be in if she was still there. Jasper has been much more fortunate than Daisy in that he was in a rescue centre that fed and looked after him, but he was stuck there for 9 years and he didn't have the loving family that I believe every dog needs. And we're so lucky to have them, and they're lucky to be here. But without transport companies being able to transport many dogs at a time, and the transport isn't comfortable, but they get looked after, and it's for a very short term, and it's for a very good reason. It's just a quick few days in a cage in a lorry, being fed and watered and walked, and they can sleep in the lorry when the drivers sleep, and they can then come and meet their new families and start their new wonderful lives. But without the opportunity to do that, without it being financially viable, these companies won't be able to transport any animals because transporting 5 at a time doesn't give them the profit that they need to be able to continue their business. So therefore, these dogs are going to be stuck in the situations they were in. And Daisy wasn't in a terrible situation compared to some of the animals that I've read about and seen, because although she has scars on her neck from the chain where she was chained up, there is a dog that was rescued by the same charity who had to have his chain surgically removed from his neck because it had dug in so much that they couldn't remove it. There are puppies, innocent, cute baby puppies stuck in kill shelters. They are going to be killed, going to be put to sleep for no other reason than no one wants them. We want them. A lot of people in the UK, well, I think the majority of people in the UK are dog lovers. And, other animals, cats and other animals that they transport in these vans. There are a lot of charities, Hungary, Romania, other countries, that have got dogs ready to come over to the UK. And they can't bring them over if the Channel Tunnel authorities don't allow more than 5 dogs to be transported at once I think the average number of dogs that they transport at once is 20, or that's the limit as it was on Wednesday up until yesterday at midday. Please, if you know of anyone with any influence over the decision makers of the Channel Tunnel or UK government or French government, please talk to them. I've signed a petition. There's a petition on change.org. It's over 10,000 signatures. It will be discussed in Parliament, and I know the Brexit negotiations are still ongoing, but this has been done without warning. The charity that Daisy came from has been fortunate to be reassured that their transport next week will be okay for the 2 dogs that they've got coming over, but these are animals, these are innocent creatures. They have souls, they have minds, they have love, and they are good doggies, and they need to have a chance to come over to the UK and be loved and cared for like all dogs need. Please, if you love dogs, sign the petition. If you know somebody who can help, ask them to help. We have to get these dogs to the homes that they are destined to live in. Please, for dogs like Daisy and Jasper, please see if you can help. Thank you.